am so honored that I'm spending this time right now with David Lyons, and he is a fitness expert, a bodybuilder, somebody who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis many years ago. Maybe he'll share a little bit about his story, and he's going to also share the really significant importance of as we are recovering from chronic diseases like MS and other diseases, the importance of taking back our mobility, the importance of building our muscle and getting our circulation going. And it's all part of recovery. It's a very important part. And he has an amazing expertise when it comes to people that are dealing with disabilities that maybe they were diagnosed with MS or other chronic diseases. He's a wealth of information, a true pioneer in this area. And what he has to share with us is really profound. So, welcome, David. I'm so honored that you're here. Maybe you can share just a couple of minutes about your history, like how, number one, I think you were a fitness expert before you were diagnosed with MS,
Yes,
but kind of like how all that came together.
sure. Well, first, I'm honored to be here with you, Pam, because you're a pioneer in everything that you're doing. And what you do is amazing. And as we were just saying before I jumped on, your information is on my charity's website because I believe in what you do. But I was, diagnosed 20 years ago, and I was a fitness expert for 25 years before I was diagnosed. I was a bodybuilder, I was in martial arts, almost a professional boxer. So I was always in the gym and always in great condition. When I got diagnosed, it was, I tell people it was like a punch in the face. I didn't know what MS was when they diagnosed me. I was in the hospital for 5 days. They were trying to figure out what the heck was going on. They thought I had brain cancer or maybe a brain tumor. They weren't sure. I was paralyzed from here down. I couldn't move. My arms were just flopping around. I went from working out in the gym 5 days earlier to here I am being diagnosed with MS. So I had to understand what MS was. When I did understand it, my first instinct was I'm going to go back to the gym and I'm going to be a bodybuilder and prove that I could just beat this thing through, lifting heavy weights and doing all that. So that's exactly what I did. I competed as a bodybuilder. I was diagnosed, I was 47 years old. I ended up competing in a bodybuilding contest at my 50th birthday, and I won a big trophy. It's up there somewhere, but I was not helping my MS. It was actually getting worse by what I was doing. So my wife said to me, this is great. You look great, but you can't even walk. You're like dragging your leg. People are helping you in and out of equipment. Don't you think maybe bodybuilding isn't the way to do this? I said, well, maybe you're right. Yeah. And she's a nurse. She's
Yeah.
been a nurse, RN for over 20 years, maybe almost 25 now. But at that time, she said to me, look, it's impressive what you're doing, but how's that really helping anybody with MS? It's not even helping you. So I said, she's right. I started to go back to school to study. How does the brain, the nervous system, and the muscles actually work together? They're not separated.
Right.
I just always thought, you go to the gym, you work out, you look great, you feel good, and that's it. But when you hit with a chronic condition like MS, things change. And I started to understand that just working out was not the answer. It's good and it gets blood flowing and you maybe feel better, but it doesn't address the limitations that a condition like MS could bring. So, what I started to do is I started to develop training methods, which I call now optimal body. And those methods were doing five things that were very important that bodybuilding alone, or even just going to the gym and working out, doing CrossFit, all these things I see people doing, does not do for MS so that you could overcome your limitations. One of them is BDNF, brain derived neurotrophic factor, which you know what that is, but most people don't. It's the foundation of how you get your nervous system to work properly in the brain and the spine. Then there's neuroplasticity. And we always hear neuroplasticity. That's the big key word with MS. You got to get neuroplasticity. But people don't realize that neuroplasticity can only happen if BDNF is happening. BDNF leads to neuroplasticity. So you've got those two aspects that need to work hand in hand. Then there's a chemical called acetylcholine that is produced in your brain and your body that helps your muscles to move. Without acetylcholine, your muscles aren't moving. So you want to get that as high as possible in your system, and there's ways to do that. You also want to have your brain connected to your muscles properly. So they have to be sending proper signals. You also want your muscles to be activated. So there's muscle fiber activation. The anabolic or muscle growing, strengthening effect has to be in place. When you take those five things and you put them together, then you go from like I did, where I couldn't move my left leg, couldn't lift my knee off the ground, couldn't do a calf raise, couldn't squeeze my fingers, go from that to where I'm at now, which is full mobility, full strength. Legs do whatever they want. I run, I jump, I squat 500 pounds, all
Wow.
these things that are happening because I created those processes in my body. That's what optimal body was about. And now we have optimal body, optimal mind, which brings the mindset and the commitment part of what you need to do into this. So, optimal mind is helping people to stay committed to optimal body. And that's what we're doing. And that's how I made the shift. But it wasn't quickly, it took me 4 years of doing this and seeing how it worked and getting myself back to normal so that I could do everything. Then I started helping other people do the same thing. And just like with what you're doing, you didn't figure it out in 5 minutes. It took you time to investigate, to trial and error with yourself, probably, like
Mhm.
I did, use myself as a guinea pig. And now this is what we're doing to help people. We're combining the ability to think properly and to train properly. And then, of course, there's the nutrition aspect and what you do with things like parasites and other alternative ways of going about working in a management protocol to stay ahead of MS. And that's what I do every day.
That's incredible. It's like a science that you've developed, right? A
Yeah.
scientific process. Do you have a doctorate in, I'm pretty sure you have.
Yeah. I was actually awarded a doctorate. So
Wow.
although my wife will never call me Dr. Lyons, yes, I am a doctor, but it's honorary because of what I've done with MS and what I've created. A university has given me a doctorate of advanced studies in health sciences. And I have doctors across the United States that actually endorse my program and prescribe it to some of their patients who have chronic conditions. So this is very science backed. I'm no genius. I just went to the science and I said, if this can work to do these processes, if we apply it to a training program, then we can actually overcome limitations. Because one of the frustrating things, and I tell this to everybody that I talk to, I'm very frustrated with what I see in the MS community and chronic conditions community with these people that are experts.
Yes.
They don't have any chronic conditions. Most of them don't have MS. They're just basically book smart. And what they do is they give people cookie cutter things that they've read about or they've used over and over and over again, but they don't have any long-term benefits for people. So when I see people telling someone to look at a pen and turn their head and move the pen because that will generate nerve works in your brain and all this, that's all well and good. And I'm not saying that it's bad. The problem with it is that it's not creating an environment in your body. It's telling your body to do one thing over and over and over again. You have to change things, and the muscles and the nerves have to work together so that things will then get repaired or reconnected or redirected. So when I see all these people doing the same things over and over and over, and the body's plateauing and they're not getting any benefits, It's frustrating to me. And this is why I do what I do. And this is why I'm so passionate about it, because I know from all these years and the thousands of people that have followed my program and the hundreds that I've worked personally with that have gotten out of wheelchairs, or some of them now competing as fitness models and doing bodybuilding competitions and all this. This is not about bodybuilding, but bodybuilding is a great word because we're building our bodies through the use of the connection of our nervous system and making everything work properly.
The body is truly amazing. I believe it was intelligently designed, and we know very little, but it's so neat when we can bring together, like, even like what we do is like understanding the disruptions in the microbiome and helping to correct that and really giving the body a lot of nutrition. And then your piece is really helping like the damage to be reversed. A lot of it can be a lot more than we ever thought possible. We see that also, but what you're doing is so important because it's more than just like you said repetition doing certain exercises. It's really maximizing the connection between our brains and our nerves and our physiology and the biochemistry inside of us. And then we do need the mindset piece because we've suffered for so long when we have chronic disease. We haven't been given hope. We've been told we're going to live like this forever, and we have to find that the big why and to really truly believe that we can heal. But then that comes too with when people start to have successes, right? That's really motivating and it really gets them fired up. And it's so wonderful to hear that you are seeing people, by changing a little bit in their lifestyle and then doing the fitness training, that they're actually able to regain mobility that our integrate or our standard of care says is impossible. And that's what I tell people is that people can have so much more recovery than they ever thought possible when they support the body in the right ways.
Well, the sad thing is when I was in the hospital, the doctors told me, and not just one, all of them said, you basically have 6 months before you're in a wheelchair. And I just spoke to somebody recently who was just diagnosed, and she told me that's exactly what the doctor told her. To this day, they're still telling people things like that. So they're automatically telling you you're a failure. You have MS, you're going to fail. And this is why I brought my partner Matt Rowe into this because he does the optimal mind part of it because he was an athlete like I was. He was a triathlete. And he also was told the same things. You're going to be in a wheelchair in 6 months. We're both not in wheelchairs, and we're both able to do everything we want. Yes, it was a road, and it's a hard road. There's nothing easy about this. I'm not pitching a 30-day beach body program. I'm pitching a lifestyle, a journey that you have to be on, that you have to be willing to put work into this so that you could overcome things. People are willing to put work into making money. They're willing to put work into a great vacation, but people don't want to put work into taking care of themselves unless you give them a path to do that. And that's exactly what Matt and I do with Mind, Optimal Body. We take that mindset that people are forced on, that they're going down a negative road, and we're saying that's not true. What you think is where your body will go, but what you think has to have the right path. So it's like what you do. You could tell people, hey, there are parasites out there that are doing really bad things to your body. But if you don't go to get tested to find out what those are, or you're just guessing at it and you don't have a game plan of how to get rid of them, then what's the purpose of having the knowledge? Oh, yeah, I know. I know that I should exercise, but I don't know how to do it right. Well, we're giving people the road to do that, the path to do that. And it's extremely important that the mindset is there because people talk about motivation. Yeah, I'm motivated. I'm going to go do this. Well, motivation is a fleeting emotion. Commitment is what needs to happen. And Matt helps people daily with the commitment while I'm taking them through the hard part, which is the actual training part of it. But it's short workouts. With the MS body or any type of neurological condition, we have a limited amount of energy, a limited amount of ability. So, especially at the beginning. So, what I've done is I created the program so that you're in and out of it in like 30 minutes, and you do it as a 3 day cycle, and then you take your rest days. By doing it that way, you're taking your body to the highest level of intensity that you can in a short period of time to generate those five processes. You're not exhausting yourself. You're not fatiguing yourself so that later you can't do anything. You're actually generating energy with this type of training. And people have to understand that you can't just sit and do nothing and think about it. You have to make a commitment, and that commitment takes work.
That's amazing. And so, is there anybody that wouldn't qualify working with you if they're like how disabled they are, or you can start with anybody at any degree?
I'll give you a story I just told somebody. I had a 75-year-old woman who has had MS for 30 years. She came to me in a wheelchair. Legs are not working. Her arms are down here. One of them she couldn't even lift up. The other one was like kind of like this. And she said, "You're my last hope. I don't want to live like this. I've been working with trainers and physical therapists for 7 years now, and I still can't comb my hair." Her name was Pat. I said, "Pat, I can't guarantee you that I'm going to have you run a marathon, but I could guarantee you I will make you stronger and more mobile." Within months, and all of this is on video. I videotape everything. All of this is on video. She's there going like this, lifting her arm. She said, "I could comb my hair now." And she was out of the wheelchair, able to stand and hold on her fence in our property. She couldn't even do that before. Now, yes, as time goes by and more time of training with her, she'll get better and stronger and more mobile. This is not something you do for, oh, I'm going to do it for a year or two and then I'll stop. And I tried that, by the way. I tried that. This is because I just said, I've been doing optimal body training. I had been doing it for like 10 years straight. So it's been 15, now going on 16 years of doing this. And after 10 years, I said, you know what? I'm going to go back to the gym. I'm just going to bodybuild. I'm not going to do all my own training methods. I don't want to have to stop and hold and all these things that I make people do. I went back to the gym. Within a month, I started to lose the ability to bend my knee properly. And I said, whoa, I got to go back. So I went right back to upper body training. And, here I am doing what I need to do. But the moral of the story is, you've got to stick with this type of training as a journey of your life, just like eating right, just like getting rid of parasites and making sure they're not coming back. Okay. It's not just some fleeting thing that you can do. And it does not matter how disabled, and I hate using that word, but I'll say how limited you are. Whatever those limitations are, we can work to repair your body so that you will be able to overcome those limitations within time. Time, focus, commitment, and just doing what the program tells you to do.
Doing the right things, right?
Yes.
That's the important thing. So, do you have a way of supporting, like you've got some programs available to support people in fitness and mindset on like what is your website?
So we have the optimalbody-optimalmind.com website. All the information on what Matt and I do together is there. They could also, if they want to look at the charity and things that we have, free 8 week things and 7 days and of trials of all free, they can go to msfitnesschallenge.org and look there as well. But the Optimal Body, Optimal Mind program is the structured long-term program that people should be on, not because I created it, but because it works. And, I'm not the only one that says it works. Like I said, we have so many testimonials and videos of people. You could see where they came to me completely out of condition, and now they look like they're ready to go, into a modeling competition. And I tell people that's not what this is about. The bodybuilding and the way you look is a benefit of it. The training to overcome your limitations is what the program does. But hey, we all want to look better anyway, so it works.
That's an added benefit,
Yeah,
correct?
right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole goal is to live our best life, to really improve our quality of life, to be able to do all the things we love to do, to give people hope that this is possible for them. But it really does take an integrative approach to, working with our mind, our physical body, and what's living inside of us. All
Right.
of these things come together to allow us to, number one, live our full life, add decades of amazing quality of life to us so that we can have wonderful golden years, because a lot of us get sick, maybe in our 40s or 50s, and we're just expecting we're finally going to retire, we're
Right.
finally going to live a beautiful life, and then we're looking at care homes, and that is absolutely horrible. So yeah, is there anything else you wanted to add that I didn't cover that's really important that you want people to know about?
I mean, really, the most important thing for people to understand is that they have control of this. It's what they do that makes the difference on whether they're going to be like me at 68 years old, working out like I'm 30, or whether they're going to sit around and just say, "Poor me, I have MS." We none of us want MS. Okay, and none of us want a condition like Parkinson's or, I work with people with muscular dystrophy, with cerebral palsy. Nobody wants this, but if you have it, make the decision to take control of your own body and your own life. Find the things that are going to work for you. Okay, not just the training part of it, but the eating part of it, the alternative medicine part of it, the getting rid of parasites part of it. There's aspects of your life that you have to take control of, and don't be passive. Make the commitment. Like Matt Rowe always tells everybody, you have to make the commitment, because without the commitment, you're not going to have your optimal body, right? So make that commitment. If anybody has questions and they want to reach out to me, I'm accessible easily on Facebook. I don't do a lot of social media. I'm a dinosaur. Even Facebook is too much for me. But I'm easily found on Facebook, and people can message me. I respond to everybody's messages directly, or if they could email me through the websites as well, especially the MS Fitness Challenge gym, msfitnesschallenge.org website for the charity, and MS Fit Challenge Gym is the Facebook group that we have. We have over 15,000 people that are into fitness that have MS or another chronic condition in there as well. You could find me there, but I'm easy to get a hold of, and I'm here to answer any questions to help anybody that needs it.
Well, we love you. We are so grateful for the incredible wisdom you're sharing with us, the insights, the system that you have created, designed from experience. That's the key, from personal experience, plus all of your knowledge. It's incredibly valuable, and it's really helping to bring change for people so that they can live their best life. I just want to thank you so much, David, for spending this time with me. And I am really excited for people to hear more about you and about your program.
Well, Pam, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. And let's not let so much time go in between the next time we connect.
Sounds great. Take
All
care.
right.
Bye bye.
You too.